Hey everyone, and welcome to my trail guide video for the Casque Trail. This is a 53-kilometer trail that starts in Terrace Bay, Ontario and follows the shore of northern Lake Superior to Rossport. The trail is very well marked. Matt Bortowski, the president of the Trail Association, he's also the president of the Voyageur Trail Association, and his team do a really good job of making sure that the trail is well marked, as well as most sections are very well maintained. And all of the campsites are fantastic. They all come equipped with a bear box and a picnic table, which is basically backcountry luxury. You can find the map for the trail on the On-to-Go app. So you download the app, and then you can download the trail files for all of the Voyageur trails. The Casque Trail is a section of the Voyageur Trail, and you pay your $35 membership fee, which is super reasonable, and really all the money goes to help maintain all of these trails. So you pay your $35 membership fee, and you can download all of the Voyageur sections onto your On-to-Go app, and then you use that to help you navigate the trail. As well, they do have paper copies of the maps. They're not as well detailed, but they do give you an idea of where all the campsites are and a couple of points of interest. But you get much more information if you download the app. So I highly recommend that you do that. The $35 is basically a drop in the bucket, and it is well worth it, because you not only get the Casque Trail, but you get all of the other sections of the Voyageur Trail as well. So you'll notice on the map that the trail markers and the kilometer markers start in Rossport at 0 and end at Terrace Bay at 53. However, when we talked to Matt, he said that the trail was actually designed to be walked from Terrace Bay to Rossport, not the other way around. So when you see our trail video, you'll notice that we start at the 53-kilometer mark and work our way down to the 0-kilometer mark in Rossport. However, all of the descriptions of the sections of the trail are from Rossport to Terrace Bay. So I am going to do it in that order, just so that way any literature you find will match this trail guide, so that way it's not confusing. So the trail is divided into 5 sections. So we're going to go through each section step by step, so I can tell you how long each section is, what to expect, points of interest, and if you're interested in backpacking the whole trail, where you can camp. So starting in Rossport, you have the McLean section is the first section, and it's 14 kilometers. So the first 7 kilometers take you from the beginning of the trail to about the start of Rainbow Falls, and then you go through Rainbow Falls Provincial Park. That first section of the trail was actually one of my favorite parts of the trail, because you're walking up along the top of the ridge amongst all of the jack pines. And the climb up there is challenging, but once you get there, it is just like smooth sailing for a few kilometers, and you really just get to enjoy the landscape. So you start park down in Rossport, and then you will walk 14 kilometers to the end of the entrance to the Rainbow Falls Provincial Park. So once you get to Rainbow Falls Provincial Park, obviously you're going to want to go see the falls. And when I say the falls, it's actually like a whole bunch of different cascading falls along the river. So you're going to want to stop and admire all of the different waterfalls that make up the Rainbow Falls. It's absolutely beautiful and incredible, and I definitely recommend that would be a fantastic break spot. And then you could even possibly go and wade into the water if you wanted to. We did see a few people swimming when we were there, so that would obviously be an excellent spot. And then, of course, the gatehouse had, well, at least when we were there, it had, ice cream treats and freezies and stuff. So definitely reward yourself in your first section of your trail as you pass through Rainbow Falls Provincial Park. So once you exit Rainbow Falls Provincial Park, you're going to cross the highway, and you're going to start the Schreiber Channel segment. This segment is 13 kilometers long and goes through some really beautiful stuff. You'll start with really well-maintained trails with lots and lots of lookouts, picnic tables and benches at these lookouts. And then you'll head down into the Lake Superior North Shore Conservation Area. And from in here, you'll have a few challenging walks along the coast of Lake Superior, some rock scrambles and stuff like that. And you'll come to your first backcountry campsite on Twin Harbors. This is a really, really beautiful campsite on a nice sandy beach. And you can just sit and relax. When we were there, we actually saw a lynx hanging out in the area. This section is very, very challenging, but not as challenging as the Death Valley section, which we'll get to in a little bit. The next section is the Mount Gwen segment. Here you're going to have a bunch of different lookouts. You are climbing to the top of a mountain, so you will be prepared for a climb. Up there is a campsite on Hanging Lake that you can go to, and honestly, this section actually had a lot of ATV trails through it, so some of that climb will be a little bit easier than expected, just because you'll have a nice wide space to walk on. The fourth section of the trail is the Death Valley segment, and it is 10 kilometers long. This is the most challenging segment of the trail. You will be spending a significant amount of time hiking along the coast of Lake Superior, which, because of the large rock scrambles, does make it very, very challenging. But the trail is very, very well marked, so just take your time, follow the markers, and you will get through it no problem. The first campsite you're going to come to is the beach at Worthington Bay. Now, this is a popular day spot, so you may want to camp there, you may not want to camp there, but there are washrooms and picnic tables and garbage cans and stuff like that. The main feature of this beach, however, is that there are some really cool pictographs from First Nations ancestors on the rocks, so you can definitely go and check those out. From there, you're going to hike to the next campsite, which is called Les Petits Écrits, which just basically means the little writings. So there are other pictographs on the islands around there. That campsite was really neat. There was a river that came in through there. So that river carves out that beach differently every year. So when we were there, it had kind of cut off the picnic table from the rest of the beach site. But when you're there, it could have a totally different formation. But definitely a place worth stopping at when you're making your plans for a campsite. And then from there, you're going to keep going along. You're going to have lots of steep ups and downs in this section, and lots of coastal hiking. So just take your time. It is going to be challenging. So as you continue along in the Death Valley segment from the Les Petits Écrits campsite, the next campsite you'll come to is on Terrace Bay. It's on a very, very rocky beach. However, the cool thing about this is that actually right kind of behind your campsite along the trail, you get to see lots of examples of puckasaw pits, which is really, really cool. In the trail video, I do talk about what puckasaw pits are and post more information if you want to learn more about them. So that's a really, really neat feature walking through this section. You'll come to the entrance for the Hydro Bay hike around. This is basically just a connecting trail to connect the Death Valley section to the Lida Bay section. So you're just going to be going through a hydro cut. It's pretty easy walking. It looks basically like an ATV trail. It's only 3 kilometers. Not really a whole lot to see, but you will get to see the hydro station down. You'll be up on top of the ridge, and you'll see the hydro station down on the lake. And then the final section is the Lida Bay segment. It's 6 kilometers long, and this will take you through the final segment of the trail. In this section, you will be along the coast for quite a bit. There is a campsite, but because it's so close to the beginning, I don't necessarily recommend that you stay there, because there will be, a lot of people who stay there over time. The main highlight of this section is Agua Sabon Falls, which is the waterfall basically right at the beginning of the trail, and you can walk out, take a little side trail off, and go to the bridge that goes over top of the falls. So that's it. Once you get past the falls, it's a really quick trip up the hill, and then you're at the parking lot and you're done. If you find yourself in need of a ride, so that way you can section hike a portion of the trail, or do the whole thing and park your car at one end and get a ride to the other end, feel free to contact the Trail Association, Matt and his team. Someone which usually can give you a ride on a particular date at a particular time. The only thing they ask for is a trail donation, which I think is more than reasonable. If you like this video, let me know by clicking the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. See you later.